Welcome back to Other Mike Art. This is Other Mike. Today I'm going to show you how I made an armature for this owl rabbit. Okay, I'm going to add the armature, and what I did was I displayed it so that it's in front, so that the model won't obstruct the bones. And I also made it wireframe so that I can kind of see through the bones as well. I'm creating the shoulder bone here. You saw before I created the bones for the body and the head and the jaw. Now I'm extruding the arm from the shoulder. I'm just subdividing it. And I realized I didn't add enough geometry for the arm there. Now I'm naming the bones as I go. Naming the bones is kind of a tedious process, but I think the ones that need it the most are the limbs, because later on when you duplicate them for the other side of the body, you want them to be able to have a right and a left name. So right now I'm modeling the left side, and then I'll duplicate it and have the right. So I'll have the bone names end in .L for the left and .R for the right. This way I can mirror poses. Weight painting can be mirrored. I'm just naming the wing here. And I'm just going to create a few bones to move the feathers, and they'll just I didn't want to pose each individual feather. I thought that'd be too complicated. My purpose for making this model was just to create a nice pose and show off a model. I didn't have any plans to animate it, so this is just a very simple rig for posing. So when creating bones, I make sure that either I'm extruding or duplicating a specific bone. So extruding will make a child of the parent you're extruding it from, and that child will be connected to the parent. But if you duplicate a bone, it will copy the parent of the bone you duplicated, but it won't be connected to that bone. So, like for instance, the feathers were duplicated, but they're not connected to their parents. And then the arm here, I extruded them, and I wanted them to be connected to their parents. So here I'm duplicating the right and the left, and this is my first time back to Blender, back to rigging in Blender, and I think I forgot how, what the best way was to duplicate it so that the names kind of auto right and left. So here I did it wrong, and now I have to take off the .001, and I guess that's all I had to do. I just had to remove that from each name. But the best way to do it is to name your bones without .L or .R, I believe, and then you select the bones you want to mirror, and there's an option called symmetrize. And then I believe you can select all the bones, so like all of the arms and legs for both sides, and hit symmetrize. So now I'm kind of remembering how to create an IK-FK. Actually, just an IK constraint. I didn't want to make an IK-FK blending rig yet. No, not for this model. So here I'm taking the B-bones. B-bone is a display of a way to display the bones, and I wanted to make the rig bones, like the bones that the base bones for the rig, I wanted to make them skinnier, and then these control bones here, I'll make them larger so I can differentiate between the two. So now I duplicate the foot, and then to create a control bone, and then I select the control foot and then the real foot, and I think the shortcut is Control-Shift-C, and you can say IK constraint and then Control-Shift-C again and copy transforms, and that will create the IK rig for the foot. The IK rig just makes it easier to pose, because you can see here when I push the body down, the feet don't go down with it. They just kind of, the knees buckle. It's just so much easier for posing. I'm just posing the wings here. I'm just creating a camera, and that way I can pose the model, you know, for that camera view. The thing to remember is the pose doesn't have to work in all views. If you're rendering it, if you're just making it for a render, as long as it works in the camera view, that's what matters. If you're 3D printing, then the pose should work in all views, but you want to create a nice silhouette for the camera. I don't know how good of a job I did for that here, but so the rigging is done, and now that we've posed the model, in the next video I'll show you how we render the owl rabbit.